Good evening and welcome to Body and Soul Awareness with Stephanie and Oxana. Here are your hosts.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Stephanie. How are you?
Hello, Oxana. I'm wonderful. How are you doing, beautiful?
Oh, I'm doing great. So much going on, so busy, but we are moving forward. I'm moving forward.
Yeah. It's funny you said that because I've been trying to get Thomas scheduled for, I can't even tell you. It's been like a couple of months now trying to get him on the air, and just everything is moving so quickly in everyone's lives right now that it's crazy. There's so many things formulating and going on, and I'm actually excited about tonight's guest because we'll get to talk about the astrological reasons for all of this. So I think it's going to be a good show.
I agree. We have an appropriate guest this time around to talk about what's going on in the cosmos and why we are all really sensing a lot of and experiencing a lot of turbulence, changes, trying to stay above the water type of thing. So it's I'm looking forward to our guest today.
Yeah, definitely. I think it will definitely shed some light on a lot of the things that are going on in people's lives. So I think that's awesome. For last week's homework, I think it was related to self-love, correct?
Yes, we extended that homework for 2 weeks because that's where everything starts.
Yeah.
And maybe we can talk about self-love with our guest, what self-love really means, because it's not about that shallow, three-dimensional, mainstream kind of egoistical love that we're talking about, but truly understanding that you are the creator, every one of us, and really gaining self-empowerment from that understanding and actually experiencing that. And the self-love comes from that point, from deep within, not from, I look great today, I love myself. That's
know.
Just not it.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's funny because like last week I was looking for a part-time job, and it's funny because a lot of the positions are like hot young girls. Had I been myself, I'm trying to think, 10, 11, 12, probably like 12 years ago, I totally would have been perfect for any of those positions, right? Like a lot of them are like for to be like a spokesperson for something, or what was another one that I saw? What was it? To do real estate agent sales, like to promote for them and like show houses and things of that nature. And I'm like, man, like I would have been so perfect for that like so many years ago. I should have been out here a long time ago. But I think to get out of that mind frame where I was then to actually be able to be okay in a place like this. Because I think it could like eat you alive if you're not like in a good place within yourself.
Yes, it reminds me of one other guest we had before. I believe she was addressing eating disorders and self-image. I think that was her initial struggle, and then she made business out of it and assisted others. And she was talking about when she moved here, and because she had those image issues and disorders with the eating, she did have a little bit of a hard time. And I remember talking about it because the same here. I right now, nothing really affects me. Like, just yesterday I went to Target and I saw a woman who definitely could be a perfect Barbie doll. Perfect. She was gorgeous, but half of her was fake. So,
right.
And was I maybe in Los Angeles, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe even more, it would affect me and I would feel some sort of self-judgment. But at this point in my life, this is not what I'm looking at. I am here for other reasons. And I agree with you that if it was a couple of years ago, 10 years ago, a decade, things might have been different than now.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. So,
but yeah,
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're in a good place. We can be nice and stable because there's a lot of crazy things going on, lots of shifts, lots of energy swirling around right now.
Yes, very much so. There's so many changes and shifts. And speaking of self-love, I freed myself from one thing that was not about self-love. I think was my full-time job. As of right now, I am not working. I am 100% doing my business that makes me happy, that makes sense to me because you know how I've been going through this transition forever, and this is the time. It's time for people to receive my gifts, for me to share my gifts, for them to benefit from my gifts. I feel like where I was positioned, I wasn't utilized for what I'm good at right now. That career was there and I can do it, but I think any other person can do it. But my business is what my niche is, and that's what I'm good at, and nobody else can do specifically what I am developing. So that's where I draw my self-empowerment and self-love from, is this is my life, and I must align myself with everything from inside. So my inside needs to coordinate with the outside of my life. That's what I call self-love. That's, where we can look into. Not necessarily my dress looks good, but necessarily how do I feel to be alive? How do I feel about what I do in life? How I share my gifts, how I am.
Beautiful. I found a poem called Self-Love. I'd love to read it if you don't mind.
Oh, please do.
Okay. Actually, I found two, so I'm going to read this one first, though. Okay. So once when I was running from all that haunted me, to the dark I was succumbing, to what hurt unbearably, searching for the one thing that would set my sad soul free. In time I stumbled upon it, an inner calm and peace, and now I am beginning to see and to believe in who I am becoming and all I've yet to be. That was by Lang Leaves.
I like it.
And the other cool was, you think you're where I want to be. Your ego blinds you to see. I'm giving myself things you never gave me. Being the person you've said I'd never be. I've found the love I need. I finally love me.
I like it.
So I like that one because it's kind of like forget what everyone else sees and forget what everyone else has said. You love yourself inside and out, unconditionally, regardless of other people's kind of input, which can be so damaging.
That's one of the main challenges for majority of people is because the structure of this matrix is very predestined. And, our parents tell us this is what you need to be doing because, they want the best for you, meaning they want stability in your life, specifically financial, which if you follow rules of this matrix, potentially you will be stable, potentially.
Right.
or you'll be jumping from salary to salary. But, it's not your life, though. And that's what I wish, people would understand more is, are you truly living what's inside of you? Are you truly following what's inside is calling out? Or are you just making those steps to be secure, to just have those little check and marks that are happening? And I do understand that the masses are still not awake to the fact that you are creator of everything. They are still thinking that this is how life's supposed to be. This is the only way. And that's why we're here, to tell them this is not the only way.
Yeah, exactly. There's a different way to do things. Yeah, and that's the thing. People forever have been giving us good information. I just think it's the outside programming that we get caught up in that kind of holds us back. And I think that's why, I don't know, not everybody, but I think that's why most people kind of get to 30s and 40s and 50s and they start like looking at their life and they're like, what the hell is going on? Like, this can't really be life. Like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that maybe that has something to do with kind of the phases of life that we go through. And some people just happen to wake up a little bit sooner than others. But hopefully, eventually, everybody starts to wake up to kind of like who they are and to kind of their own inner power and fire and light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope so. At least, my journey, I have been doing the transition from mainstream to me for probably good 3 years. And, my God, it's been so difficult. And a week ago, that was it. That was the last draw. And I hit the wall. I saw... It's almost like I'm sitting at the beach and everything is kind of, how heat rises and everything is kind of blurry and you don't see anything much.
Yeah.
And then finally the heat waves opened up and I see the horizon and I see the water. Everything is clear. Sky is open and everything makes sense to me. And I just had to make the changes.
Right.
So that's kind of how my final decision came about. It's like, that's it. Why wasn't I clear about it before? This is it. So I hope our listeners can grab onto that and really start exploring their internal calls, what and how they want to express themselves this time around, and not sit at the desk and do specific tasks just to pay the bills, which, yes, do come sometimes important, but not in the long run. I can testify for that.
Yeah.
So,
so it looks like our special guest is on, but I want to read one last thing before we read her intro. And this kind of goes back to, we've been getting good information for a long time. It's just like we haven't been listening. But anyways, this was written by Charlie Chaplin on his 70th birthday. And it is, as I began to love myself, I freed myself of anything that is no good for my health. Food, people, things, situations, and everything that drew me down and away from myself. At first, I called this attitude a healthy egoism. Today, I know it is love of oneself.
Yeah.
Yes. I just wanted to end our little song. Yeah, so let's get our special guest on. Polina is an intuitive astrologer, channel, energetic healer, and writer. She's recently undertaken travel and being as her purpose. I love that. Polina has published a book recently called Unleash the Beast. that is now available through Amazon. Her second book, Quantum Leap, is due in July. The focus of her work is to activate people to understand themselves and their relationship to themselves. Polina believes that through understanding ourselves, we understand the world better, and that when we are able to do that, we can create harmony on all planes. She focuses on human self-discovery and the journey to becoming more efficient, more self-aware. All knowledge that we need is within, and we don't need to learn or try. It's all in there. We are all searching for something out there, but in fact, we are the keys to ourselves and our journeys here. Polina's work is to help people activate that part of themselves that is all-knowing and all-feeling, to create natural serotonin, DMT, and other substances that produce greater connections with existence and the surrounding world. Full self-awareness and greater conscious development for other people is Polina's main focus at present. Though Polina works as a spiritual messenger, she focuses her own progress on the inner world, physical, spiritual, and emotional, and encourages others to do the same. We are returning to ourselves. Some call it Christ consciousness. Polina calls it the Great Remembering. We are the heroes we've been searching for. So let's go ahead and get Polina on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me all right? Hello. I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Nice to see you. How's it going?
Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. We've been wanting to chat with you for some time.
Thank you so much for having me. What would you like to talk about?
Well, first, will you just give us a little bit of background on yourself? Like, so I see that you are you're a psychic astrologer. So, like, how did you kind of fall into that? Was that something that you've always done? Kind of what age did you wake up? Give us a little bit about your backstory, if you don't mind.
Well, it was all a little bit weird. I mean, when I was about 10 years old, I discovered a book on the shelf that my mom had, which opened my eyes, and that was an astrology book, and it felt to me right. And then when I grew up, I picked up bits and pieces here and there, but it wasn't anything. Like, it wasn't really anything. And then I had an awakening. So I had a death that I encountered through psychedelics. So I took ayahuasca and I went through a death, and I didn't know where I was or what I was. And I remembered once a psychic telling me that I was going to do something very new and different, and that I was going to use astrology as part of my journey, and I didn't really understand what that was all about. But it felt to me right to continue looking at astrology as a possibility, because I guess it was loaded up into my spectrum of creation by the psychic woman, because sometimes what psychics say does stick around for a long time. And then for a while I didn't know what I was doing, and I went on a holiday to Thailand, and then I just saw the information come in, and all my interest in astrology just solidified, and I started just channeling it. I didn't study anything. I didn't really know anything. It just came to me. So I became aware of these formulas later on, and they first came in rhyme. So I was writing rhymes about what Lilith means, what Saturn means, in conjunction to Venus. I had no idea what it all meant. It was just all like coming in as just streaming. And then I started the YouTube channel, and it turned out to be quite good. And then that became my main income, actually, which was really, really surreal. I didn't really understand what I was doing or how I was doing. All I understood is that it was matching up. And then it took even a greater turn where I didn't have to look at the charts. I could just hear the information. I didn't actually look at the astrology primarily. It became an anchoring, but it wasn't the main course, which was even more surreal. So now I'm sort of structuring that into a new blueprint for myself, because I'm recognizing that astrology is only a small part of what I do. So becoming more aware of what that means to be psychic and how much harm it can do to oneself as well, because it can make me really ungrounded and sort of believe that that is my main purpose in life, which is very
Right.
a surreal experience to have. And it's not happy, because at the end of the day, I've got a body and I've got to find my own purpose, besides what I can do for other people. What is like the purpose of this life for me? So not just what purpose can I hold for other people, but what is the purpose of life, and why did I design this? Like, why did I dedicate myself to the human existence, and what was it in me that wanted to experience life? So turning things around and starting to learn anew. So putting this whole, business on hold in a way, and trying to find what the heck life is for me, which is really fun to do. So that's why the travel, and that's why the adventure, because trying to find the new taste in reality, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that part in your bio where you said you've recently undertaken travel and being as your purpose. I just think that is absolutely amazing.
Love it.
I wish I could do that right now.
Thank you. I feel that we're all waking up to it. I mean, the digital nomad is sorry?
No.
Well,
go ahead. Finish that thought, and I'll ask you a question.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say the digital nomad is becoming a norm. Like, there's more and more people understanding that they can work through the internet, and they can make money writing, or, doing things around the world. There's so many different ways of creating income. We don't actually have to sit at a desk. We don't have to do the same things that other people do, or that we thought that we'd have to do. It's all changing. The world is changing completely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what Stephanie and I, we had a conversation about that just the other day, how what we taught, stability is really not just one-way stability. Well, first, of course, stability is a funny word. Internal foundation. Yeah, internal foundation needs to be within one person. But yeah, we agree with you. I agree with you that right now I'm stepping into the completely different shoes too, where I'm no longer doing the mainstream computer office work, but developing the business and putting it online, just like you said, Polina. Yes, there's a different way to receive the fruits for your gift and exchange. And so maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you've been able to be somewhat, successful as a human being in your body, maintaining, being part of this matrix, and still evolving and doing what aligns with you. I can certainly take your tips too, since I'm going through this right now.
Okay. This is probably quite harsh. But like what I noticed is, like, since I've been pulling myself into the psychic dimensions and working with spirit, I had to navigate my life really differently, and I have to ask myself the question, who are you, every day? Who am I? And it changes all the time. The answer is shifting constantly, and also I'm noticing that my life and my self-identity and my consciousness has been shifting so much that I don't actually recognize myself. I don't even know who I am or what I want or where I stand with life at all. But what I found also is very important for me is to find myself, because I feel that I'm also like a very indoctrinated person. I'm also very stuck. I'm also very confined, as we are all very, very stuck in some, certain ways. I feel absolutely everybody almost here is very stuck in some way, and it feels to me really important to not settle at the moment. And I feel it's a feeling of unsettlement that is bringing me all the gifts. And it's really interesting, because the more I deny things, like say I have a wish, like say I go, oh, maybe it's time for a relationship, and I'm like, no, that's just self-medication. I'm like, why is that? It's like, you're not ready. And I'm like, how do you know? It's like, I just do. And it's really interesting, because I've been denying myself so many things, like, oh, I really want to, go there. I want to go and buy this, or maybe I'll need a house, or maybe I need this or that. And I'm like, but hang on, you don't need it. And it's been a really, really harsh road, because spirit basically has been not contradicting, but what's the right word? Showing me the opposite of all my wishes. And I've actually found that in the end, I don't wish for anything. And it's really, really hard because being in the space of not wanting anything and being able to crack every wish as like nothing. It's like, I really want to, I really want to go over there. It's like, really? Do you? Like, do you want to? It's like, you don't even know who you are. And that's really, really hard. So that's the main purpose of my journey here, I feel, as I'm evolving through travel now, is to understand that I do maybe want something. And what does it mean to want something? That's really hard. So wanting and not wanting, desire and desperation, or like detachment, and saying no to things that I should be saying yes to as well. That's the main purpose of my year, this year of travel. I feel the main issue with it is that I have to find and I have to filter out, as I'm waking up continuously, what is real and what's not real. What have I been conditioned to want, and what have I been delighted to accept that I don't need to anymore. So this is all changing for me now, and I feel that's the main thing. And in terms of the physical journey, in terms of yoga, nutrition, everything like that, I've actually found that when I'm in the right state of mind, I can do the impossible. And it might feel really kind of weird to mention, but I did feel like yoga and nutrition were the main focus of my life for a couple of years, but now I'm finding that the form that I have, is able to reform its insides. And I've actually had this really intense lactose intolerance and gluten intolerance for most of my life. And I've actually found in the last month it's come away. It's just come undone. The allergies I have no longer, because I'm reforming my internal world and psyche, and somehow it's all coming together. So I'm looking at health, looking at nutrition, and finding ways of not being bound, because I've been like a vegan for a long time, and I've been really afraid of making mistakes with my diet and with my routine in terms of yoga and exercise. And I actually found that I put myself into new boundaries, like into new like slavery almost, or into new constructs that I couldn't be bothered understanding. Like I was like, okay, yoga like 5 times a week, you just got to go and do the yoga, or like no gluten, no dairy, nothing, like and it became my new prism. And I feel now is the year of asking, like, what is reality? What is food? Like, what is this? What is that? What do you want? And it's been really, really hard to face that. My value spectrum has changed completely. So the main focus of me now is to be up to date with my value spectrum.
Yeah. I can see. Yeah, you're describing very familiar situation, very familiar. So, and I know a lot of people are going through similar, especially this year. What can you tell us about this year in general? For me, it's been everything, but mainly stepping into what's mine, who I am. The same thing that you are exploring. I feel like for me, I've done that on because I've gone through the dark night of the soul. I've lost kind of desire and wants to do things. And then I re-emerged with what aligns for me, what business, what I need to give to people. So now I'm kind of on that side of trying to still stay grounded, which is hard because as we start really kind of balancing out our frequencies inside and really elevating more and more, because we're detaching from this kind of unnecessary materialistic things that we tend to possess here. We change, but like you said, it's still hard to maintain the balance of I mean, it's challenging. It's doable, but it's challenging to maintain yourself in this matrix and still aligned with what yours. But then with time, I believe, since I will be progressing there as well, it most likely will start making more sense as we move where we need to move for each other, I guess, for oneself and each other. So what can you tell?
Absolutely.
We need to actually go to a quick commercial break. We'll get right back to that in a few minutes, okay?
I'm fly.
I know your neighbor. Tune in to Forsaken Generation, Mondays at 1 to 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we will be revealing the true science behind vaccines, the harm they cause, the stories of the affected families just like our own, and much, much more. So tune in and get the stories that the big news channels refuse to cover. This day and age, we must protect our families from those sworn to do no harm. We will not ingest the lies any longer. Mothers, fathers, doctors, scientists, journalists, speaking out on behalf of the health of humanity. So, join my mom, your host, Lynette Barron, on Forsaken Generation, Mondays, 1 to 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Do you want to live a happy and healthy barefoot lifestyle? Join Barefoot is Legal Saturdays, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Time to learn your rights to live a barefoot lifestyle. There are no laws against bare feet in public, and we are here to dispel the myths and empower you to stand up for your rights. Join full-time barefooter and victims legal advocate Nick Pierce on Freedomizer Radio or the Barefoot is Legal Radio Show Saturdays, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, and check out barefootislegal.org.
Yes, we are chatting. Just to remind everyone, we're chatting with Polina. She is intuitive astrologer, channel, energetic healer, and writer. Polina, we were chatting about how crazy life is. I always try to stay on top of my humor, because otherwise, at times, my humor really does help me sometimes. To get me out of certain situations, in my head mainly. But we were talking about, what each of us go through
this year
when we awaken. Yeah, and specifically this year, yes. If you can tell us what's in the stars, what's astrologically in our life for this kind of theme for this year. Maybe we can even break it down, maybe summer, fall, like season-wise, so our audience can kind of implement what you say in their life and make it happen for them one way or the other.
Okay. This is awesome because, so the year has gone through one quarter. So I don't count the year from the beginning of January because that's not really the correct energy. Time to start a new year. I've started the year as I feel for me, like on March the 21st. So the big celebration that I've had was on the 21st of March, which is the Persian New Year, beginning of Aries as well. So that's the full burst of life. After Pisces, we've got Aries, and Aries basically is the beginning of all time. And we've gone through the first quarter, so it's been 3 months, and it's been the 21st of June, the solstice, the summer solstice, and the winter solstice on the other side of the world. So by now you should already know exactly where you've come to. So the first big bang was the 21st of March. That was the new beginning. Hopefully everything was tied up before then. Everything was figured out and everything was left behind. So the 21st of March was the big bang. And now is supposedly, especially after the new moon on the this is the beginning. This is the beginning of how you're going to place things. But you have already been formed. It's the beginning of your world happening. So you've been formed between 21st of March and 21st of June. You've been kind of become more sophisticated or become more tremendous in who you are. And from here on, it's a very groovy journey till the 21st of September. There's going to be another equinox, obviously, there. 21st of September is going to be the marking of who you thought you would be, but now you are this. It's like who you thought you would be, but now you are this. And it's going to be a becoming of a different kind. And whatever you do between now and then is going to be a remembering of what you're not and what you want to be. I used to be this, but now I want to be this. So it's going to be a very interesting time to control yourself no longer in terms of what you give to yourself, and things will become really, really plain and simple. Like when you are with a friend and you are seeing that they're not interested in you, but you're still smiling towards them, that's going to have to change. Or when you're in a group of people who are not yours, like you're just not interested, they're not the type of energies that you want to mingle with, but you still go, that's going to change. It's a very communicative year. We've got all the signs aligned, Jupiter and Libra as well. So we've got a lot of communication and togetherness and group activity. And we're going to start seeing that we smile even though we don't want to smile. We laugh even though we don't really need to laugh. We want to cry, but we can't. Or we cry a lot even though there's nothing to be sad about. Or maybe we've been pushing ourselves aside. Our life sucks, actually. So things are becoming really clear, kind of like turmoil with one. For example, people who are addicted to certain type of stereotypes, like, oh yeah, oh woe's me, and I'm the lost one all away. So everything will become clear, and I feel by the end of this year, actually by September, October, by December the 21st, we're going to really start understanding who we are not any longer, and everything is going to become obvious. And I'm feeling that a lot of emotional feelings, they're going to fall away. Like before, somebody thought they were the lost one, or like they were the black sheep, or they were just the nice guy who never got the girl. That's going to start falling away, and hopefully the new grids are going to start coming ahead. And by the 21st of March 2018, there should be a very solid, very, very solid foundation of who you want to be forever, because Libra cycle has solidified things. Jupiter and Libra solidifies things for the next 12 years for most of us. So something is going to become really solid this year that we're going to take on. Even though it's a communicative, fluffy year, it is going to leave us something solid that we cannot any longer turn away from. It'll be really, really obvious. So by the 21st of September, there should be a coming on of a truth. From the 21st of September, there should be almost like a purging. But I always knew I was, or I always felt this way. And a greater unraveling of the true color spectrum of the soul is going to truly come into play. By the 21st of March 2018, there should be a purpose, and there should be a calling. And I feel like a really, really resonant bell. And I'm feeling a lot of people's voices will change, because we'll stop being ourselves and place ourselves in subordinate roles or in dominant roles. I feel people are going to relax as a whole this year and become more neat in who they are. And I'm feeling a lot of the stuff that we are carrying with ourselves emotionally is going to fade, and hopefully by the time this year is through, many people will become more still and even silenced by their own feelings of themselves. And I'm feeling that information spectrum will become a different type of spectrum that we're looking for. And I'm feeling this oversaturation of media and the control of ourselves on social media and stuff, and humiliation, public humiliation, or the need to be in truth publicly, that will come away. And this need to ring our bells and become really, really seen by the people will start sort of spasming, facing itself, refaceting itself. Oh, this is a good one. Refaceting itself into a new idea, because I'm feeling that all the social strands by the end of this year, 2018 is going to open us towards silence, and I feel stillness, and people will become really, really sophisticated in what they say and what they do, and all the fluffery and all the fakery is going to sort of become a nuisance, and we'll get tired of it. And I feel a lot of people will go into resorts, ashrams, yoga studios, spaces where people can be still together and not have to worry so much about making an impression on one another. But unfortunately, because of how addicted we become to social media, I feel this locking in will be inside for most of us. And I feel many of us will not be able to really say their truth. And it does feel like with how we are evolving now, and after how Gemini has gone, it feels like we are pulling in a lot, and we can't truly face ourselves yet. So the better thing to do, explode if you have to explode, and allow space to have those sick days or days of work where you can't face people because the truth is staring you right in the face, or people are no longer filling that void that they were filling for the last 5 years. And if you've got social media, it's a really good idea to disconnect from it, or if you feel it is hilarious and it is not needed, or you feel that there's an addiction, definitely switch off as much as you can, because I'm feeling that people are switching off even though the computers and the TVs are still switched on. I feel a part of us is switching off to chatter. If we're not resonating with it, if it's not bringing us anything clear. And the last thing I feel also is that the children inside of us, the inner children, the ones that don't let us sleep at night, the ones that want to play when we want to rest, the inner child that wants to go out there and do the most amazing thing in the world, but the adult self keeping it on. The inner children will become a storm inside, and I feel that they will not any longer be unheard. They will act out, and I'm feeling a lot of people will say sexual trauma will go towards more sexual trauma, people towards negative upbringing, say negative upbringing and a lot of hitting at home, they'll probably go towards that. They'll accidentally lash out at somebody at a bar or something like that. That can happen because the inner child cannot be still during time of truth. And this is the fire rooster year. So the truth is going to be heard. And by the end of the year, by 21st of March, 2018, we're going to definitely see either an explosion of something, an implosion, like a really strange situation, or a flowering, and hopefully we'll carry it to a point where we can totally bloom within ourselves and then help each other as a collective bloom as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot going on. We were right.
Yes. Actually, everything just making sense to me. Everything, what you were saying, Polina.
Thank you.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, it's wow. It's definitely confirming what changes I've just inquired in my life. I think I'm definitely following what needs to be followed for me. Wow.
Do you want to discuss something on the personal front? Do you want to discuss something on the personal front?
I wasn't planning on it.
You can. I mean, up to
Go
you.
for it.
Well, I mean, I don't know what what I'm working right now is my my personal business. It is a little bit challenging because I'm no longer receiving the stable income, and I think even though I am fully busy in doing it, it's like that's kind of like my tiny. I think it's actually my personal lesson because I gotta trust myself and trust life and trust my, internal power that I have as a creator. And I think that is, that's the lesson and that's the challenge for me where I'm trying to align everything and, financially and spiritually and emotionally on every level. But it's, that's kind of my challenge right now is to trust and to know that I will be okay and maintain myself grounded here in this matrix. And I'm working on it. So that's kind of the theme for me. I don't know what you can suggest for me, Polina, but yeah.
I just feel you as a star being. I'm just feeling that when you are at this state of utter non-control, like when it's almost ridiculous. Like say, this is just a metaphor, like stopping everybody on the street and saying, "Come on, let's all sing together," or "Come on, everybody, let's all do yoga or exercise together," or "Come on, everybody, let's all laugh," or "Let's all chat." Like having those of moments as a star being, I feel is really important for yourself. I'm feeling that if you're thinking about business in terms of logistics, it's not going to work. I feel you need to give it to somebody else. Like say if you're thinking about doing the website, give it to somebody else. If you are thinking about doing promotional material or trying to create some kind of way of packaging what you have, I feel it would be way better if you just have somebody else, especially if somebody's like in love with you, who has those skills, or like a friend of yours that can do this and another friend that can do that, and you can take them out for coffee and infect them with your amazing energy, amazing positivity and amazing glow. I think that would be enough. And, of course, like paying people, exchanging people, bartering with people, it doesn't have to be expensive, but I'm feeling getting different people in the team to help you would be really, really nice. But I'm also feeling that the energy of you here can be feeling compacted, but it's really weird. If you feel compacted to people, if you feel censored, they're not really responding. But if you feel uncensored, like wild or really free, or like really much like a star being who's really uninhibited, I'm feeling that people will give you everything. Like they'll give you the attention, they'll give you the money that is needed to be given, and everything like that. But when they're looking at you and they're seeing that you're constricting yourself, they're not coming to you because I feel they're looking at you and they're saying, like we're going to her for freedom and for this infectious positivity, but I'm seeing that this person is struggling, or she's putting herself into a compartment. But at the same time, I do feel that your package is needed, like to package yourself is needed, because it's just the language of the modern world. So just let somebody else package you. And I'm feeling that you might under-package yourself. Also, you might under-package. You might think, I'll just write a little thing about me. But I feel somebody else will see you and go, oh my gosh, no, you are this, and this. And not only can you do this, but you can also do this. I feel somebody else can see you a mile better than you can. And I feel like when your friend is looking at you and is going to do a write-up for your website and stuff, I feel they can do miles better, not because they're more they're more specialized in their field, but just because I feel people from the outside can see your glow a lot vaster than you can imagine your glow to be. So I feel for yourself, the really beautiful thing is to exercise and to radiate and to enjoy and to do crazy things, like hang off the monkey bars, do cool stuff, take photographs of yourself, like for Instagram, like having somebody taking photos of you doing crazy stuff at a kid's playground and things like that. I feel that's better marketing material than you trying to constrict yourself into a certain type of perfect energy. Just let other people, like say, for example, hire a friend for the day. Say, hey, I'll take you out for dinner. Can you just pick for me a few outfits out of your wardrobe and mine that I can wear for this photo shoot? And she'll just pick you out a few things, and they'll just look great. So you don't have to worry about it. Just let other people do it's almost even to the point where you just letting other people cater for the human side of things, and you're just allowing yourself to be the glow. And like for example, anchors on TV, they got somebody doing their makeup, they got somebody doing, the wardrobe, they got somebody preparing already all the paperwork for them to read. The people prepare those things, and then those things end up framing you, packaging you perfectly to be able to make you marketable. But in terms of yourself, I feel you're great. You just have to radiate.
Oh,
yeah.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know what? I'm going to give you a little secret. I do have branding consultants with me. So you are 100% right, and they're packaging my package. And they
that's good.
Yes, and they definitely kind of routing me to the right direction with this, whole matrix thing, because I'm, grounding for me sometimes is hard because I am living in the idea world and creation and all of that, but like really looking at the practical steps. Oh.
Yeah.
So they're doing that
part. But it's already all there. Because I'm feeling that when people come to you, they don't even know what they're getting, because I'm feeling no matter how you are going to package your business, they're coming for just like, it's almost like they get a touch of your soul. Like I feel there is something beyond what you offer as a product that they're actually benefiting from. So definitely would be so nice to get somebody else on board to market what you have, because it feels like it can't even really be put in words or put in writing or put into a symbol what you do. So branding is really hard, but it feels to me that impartial people that are a lot better. Like people, it doesn't have to be expensive. It feels to me that people that know you, that have been hanging out with you, and it's almost like, you're having lunch together and you just go, just throw it out there. It's like, so like chewing on salad or, falafel or whatever you're having. It doesn't matter. Like, you're eating and you're talking. And I feel like you go like, so like, like while chewing, what do you think would be a good color on me? Like, what do you think would be a good cut on me? And the friend will be like, I think that you look great in purple. I actually think that you look really awesome in lavender, like out of nowhere. And then you might think, oh, lavender, okay, I'll take that on board, because I'm feeling that the more people are involved in your process, the better. And it also feels to me like almost like a village energy, like friendship-based Aquarian energy for some reason. Maybe you've got Ceres and Aquarius or something, I'm not sure. But it feels to me like the more people are involved, it's almost like a survey type of energy. And the more they like you and the more they spend time with you and the more they've known you before, the more quality the relationship between you and your clients will be. But in terms of getting a consultant who doesn't know you enough, and so you're paying really good money for like a marketing consultation, I feel it'll only give you a little bit, but I feel the person has to be able to read your soul. To them, your soul has to be the legible part of you, not your wallet. So if they're looking at you as a business that's ongoing, it's not really going to help. But I'm feeling if it's a consultant who really, really feels with their heart, maybe they're an intuitive person that can help, but it does feel like your friends already have associated you with an energy which is really bright, clear, and completely able to be true, and at the same time also marketable. So I feel your friends have all the answers.
Wow, that's powerful. Wow, thank you so much.
That's so
Polina.
interesting too, because the other day, when was it? A couple days ago, we were just having falafel talking about business.
I know, Polina, were you checking on us?
All the time. That's cute.
Oh, thank you. That's a beautiful reading. I didn't expect it, but yeah, part of me knows that. I need to start involving people, and that's one reason I had to leave my main job is because I need time to do that. I need time to connect with people and really be in a internal place where I am the creator, not running between, office job and my business. So thank you. Thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you.
Well,
I don't know why.
Go ahead.
Sorry, just a quick thing. In the future, I see a studio or like some kind of space, and it almost feels like if you had kids or if somebody at work, just leave their kids with each other, you know what I mean? They could just, fill in for each other. It feels like it doesn't have to be completely kosher, not kosher. It doesn't have to be completely like on the paper, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be completely like illegal thing, like it doesn't have to be everybody signed off, everybody's paid. It almost feels like people barter with each other and people give each other time, people give each other favors, people do things for each other, and that becomes like a shamanic energy as well, because when people just do things for each other, I feel it grows and it becomes alive. But when people are measured and they work for certain hours and they provide a certain type of product, it's not really what you're going for, because I'm feeling that you're awakening people out of the grid completely. You're bursting, you're ripping out. So to work to make your business feels a little bit unnerving. So, for example, if you've got like a really nice like yoga studio, you've got a really nice studio for, recreation of self, self-help, and then people just come and go, and they're just friends and they're just family. It's like a small village. For some reason, I'm feeling that carries for you more. Like somebody had too many lemons one year, they bring all the lemons to the studio. They share them with the clients or whatever. Or like somebody made bliss balls, they just bring them. It's just common sense, and then like it turns around you, and you definitely feel like a very important person in the scheme. But it doesn't have to be completely real. People's idea in terms of time and money, because in terms of time, I have a feeling that your chart might give you a really big roundabout. Depends on where your Jupiter is and where you set as well. I give you a bit of a runaround. So have a look at how you can barter and have really nice friendships with people they can then use to help you and help themselves at the same time.
That's beautiful. I actually already had that idea to create kind of a community center for people to gather, to meet, to assist, to do whatever. And also we are contemplating on doing a website for a bargaining.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we were Stephanie and I were exploring that idea, and we think it's going to be great because it allows people to exchange services without any currency.
That's beautiful. That's really, really good.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and go to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Hi, guys. It's me, your host, Red Gypsy, reminding you to come journey into freedom with me every Monday night at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. This is going to be a show that's going to cover everything from metaphysics to holistics to herbs to gardening to barefooting to grounding and so much more. Dare to be different, dare to be you, and dare to learn to love yourself unconditionally. Namaste.
Hello, everybody. We're back on the air with our special guest, Polina Outkina, intuitive astrologer, channel, energetic healer, and writer. Okay,
Yay.
Polina.
Did you mess up your last name, Polina?
Polina Outkina. Polina Outkina.
Outkina, yes.
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's just,
I'm sorry. I'm American. I have like the worst accent ever.
It's all right. There's all kinds of names out there.
It sounds so much more beautiful when you say it. So, okay. So Oksana's reading that you just did was kind of like dead on. So I was wondering if you don't mind giving me a little bit of insight, because I have been on a roller coaster for like the past probably like 4 or 5 years, just trying to kind of figure out what I want to do with life when it comes to my business, but just life in general too. And I'm kind of all over the place, and I know one of the biggest problems I have is I think I limit myself because I don't know exactly what I want, so I don't really have a lot of focus. I'm just kind of like, okay, this looks good, and then I'm like, oh, I changed my mind, and this looks good. So as far as, like, business is concerned, I know, like, what I've done has evolved from, like, doing natural skincare to help people not put so many chemicals on their body, and that evolved to doing more like nutrition coaching and teaching along those lines. But right now I'm kind of like stuck when it comes to business and work too. So do you have any insight maybe on why that is and where
absolutely.
It's going?
I feel that you've got this really interesting energy that I feel is a past life energy. I feel that you're just looking at me as you look at other people, and you just reaching your hand out and you're saying, come on, let's go. Like, just come on, let's go. I don't have to sell you anything. I don't have to teach you anything. I don't have to push anything. Just take my hand. Come on. I'll tell you what to do. And it feels to me a really perfect energy to work with people with ill bodies that actually have nothing, like also the elderly and children and people with any kind of syndromes, but especially I feel people that know that they're not well, like something's wrong, and you look at them and you're just like, come on, just take my hand, let's go. And it has a very different energy to what your friend has, because your friend has a very amazing burst, like a burst energy that's about imploding and exploding and just changing things in society. But I feel you have this energy of somebody who's been here for quite a while, and you sort of like just come into a situation and you've got to be understood and believed straight away. It's almost like your soul doesn't need to work too hard. It doesn't have to hijack anything, and it doesn't have to sell anybody anything. If it's like an environment like a hospital, for example, or if it's a retreat, or if it's like a special center like water, like say teaching children how to swim, or teaching mothers how to give their children their first water births, or teaching people how to do this or that. I feel any situation where people just surrender to you, they look at you and they just surrender. They're like, okay, let's go. And you're like, just reach out. Come on. Okay. Thank you so much. And there's nothing else. Like, they don't have to worry about what you do. What are your credentials? What is it that you're selling? They have to not question, because you're tired of that. And there is not a need to do that anymore. It's almost like imperative for you to be in any kind of situation where people just come along, because I feel that your feelings have been trying to tell, to teach, but it's almost like they hit a wall. It's like, but okay, fuck, okay, I don't know. Sorry, part of my French. It's like, okay, I give up. I don't need. Fine. And you might give in because it's like, well, okay, this business sucks, because I've been trying to, teach people how to do this all this time, and they just don't want to take my hand. But I feel the minute you're in a reputable position, like you got the paper, you got the stamp, for example, you have a degree in something, or you have learned, something, and you are placed in a facility where you are a nurse or a teacher or somebody who's a carer or a minder or a facilitator, or some kind of a person who is already like stamped in there as that person to see. I feel it all becomes obvious because I'm feeling that you're speaking the language that we don't yet know how to speak, because you are speaking the silence language. And it might sound strange, but it's like the language of the obvious. It's like common sense. And the
Right.
idea of skipping rope for people and, jumping hoops and trying to show who you are and how you are and what you mean and where your value is redundant, because your value was already established before you were even born. So having the opportunity to work with people, any kind of like commitment-based work is good, where you can just walk in and already be in the uniform, or already be as a facilitator, for example, cacao ceremonies as well, drumming things, silent journeys, meditations. If you want to do that, that's fine, but you've got to be already placed there. And if you're working with someone else, it's really good as well. For example, if there's a famous shaman or a didgeridoo player or something, and then you like organize to facilitate the workshop, and you don't have to say anything. It's just like you walk into the space and people know I got to see her to get everything done, but I just got to look at her and give her the nod, and she'll come over and she'll know what to do. It feels to me like it's beyond obvious, and it's the language of silence. And I feel you guys are a very interesting contrast, because one is a star being that's meant to scream through the ether and create new worlds, and the other one is almost like ancient language beyond space and time, beyond the stars. There's like a language of silence and obvious communication and communion between people, something that we don't yet understand, but I feel we will after this year is over, because we're connecting to trust. And I feel by the end of the cycle, by March 2018, a lot of us will be ready to finally speak the way that you are speaking and the way that you're communicating. So in terms of your business, I feel qualification is an important part of it, or being placed into some kind of a system where you obviously have a role, and where you don't have to worry, you don't have to market yourself, you don't have to scream at the top of your lungs. You have a role, like you are the person. Even like with the beauty industry, like say for example doing really healthy masks, organic masks for people, organic skincare, but it's like you are the person that's a beautician. It's like you are the hands, you are already there and they're in your hands. That's very interesting. But in terms of marketing, as an entrepreneur, it feels like it's too much to do about not much, and I feel eventually that kind of business where you have to scream and outdo other people, I feel it gives you a very short fuse, and it might look like it's geared up to be for maybe 4 or 5 years, but it might actually burn out really, really quickly, because the language of silence is not evolved through. It's like the language of scream, the language of competitiveness, which is not mature enough for the type of soul that you have.
Wow, that's pretty accurate.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I know, Stephanie. So what you just said is,
wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. There's so many things I'm digesting right now. I can't even tell you. That was amazing. Thank you very much. Yes. So, but before we run out of time, we wanted to let you let our listeners know a little bit about your book, Unleash the Beast.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. What can you tell us about the book? And please do.
Oh, okay. So basically, it came to me in a series of dreams. I had about 2 or 3 dreams in total, where it became itself, and I wrote it in about 2 hours. And it was basically the battle about who is good within me and who is bad within me, like the good and evil battle within me. Sorry for the mixed up wording. It's really hard to talk about it now because it was such a long time ago. I wrote it in February this year, and I've just published it, and I just let it fly and do its own thing. Principle about how everything is yin and the yang, and you need both shadow and light to manifest and to create and to grow. And it's about like pushing your shadow along, as well as your light. So helping your shadow grow as well as helping your light evolve at the same time, and simultaneously fixing yourself up while you're fixing your own perceptions about what is light and what is shadow within yourself, because in your greatest shadow is your greatest light as well. And sometimes in your greatest truth is the greatest delusion too. So that's something interesting about the book. It's just about the shamanic way of life and connecting to your own system, connecting to your own guidance, creating more, walking about more, being more active. And every once in a while, this book says, put down the book. You don't need the book. You're already there. You're already there. You just have to remember that you're there. But for people who are stuck for any reason, like they're stuck with money, or, you know, they stuck with relationships, or they're stuck with fear, it's all in there. And it basically has 127 thoughts on shadow, and on difficulty, and on illusion, and how to shed those precepts in very, very simple ways. And it's all cyclical. It all comes back to peace and silence. And it, I guess, becomes a really good manual if you've got the card pack. So I'm creating a pack of cards, 128 cards. So it's 127 thoughts and self-mastery plus one card, which is 0, which is peace. The card for peace is 0. So this card pack helps people connect to the thoughts that they need right now and to the evolution cycles that they are going through right now, and create sequences out of those cycles. So knowing how to use the cards is really simple. You just draw a card and you feel however it feels for you and what it means to you, and then you go back to the book and you refer to the chapter on that particular energy and what it means and how to work with it. So it's just a very basic manual to self-mastery, but it does take into consideration that we all have shadow, we all have guilt, we all have greed, we all have defiance, we all have lust, we all have all those things within us, because everything's everything. If it's in the all, it is within us as well, because we're all just like each other. And it's just about how to not battle with yourself anymore, because once you stop battling yourself, you start discovering your true potential. So it's a book.
I'd love to read it. I'd love to read the book. And it's already out, right? It's already
yes, it's all out. Yeah. There's
awesome.
a paper.
Yeah, I actually,
and
yeah, for our listeners, I posted it on the Facebook page, so check it out.
Yes. Thank you.
Very cool. So, were you able to see the crop circles today?
Oh, crop circles. Yes, we went to a couple. I personally saw like one, and it was incredible. Because I went with a new friend of mine. And we were looking at the circles, and we both expected to feel a lot of extraterrestrial energy, but what we felt was like troll energy. It was like trolls or fairies, and it was really, really funny, and it felt so loving, and it felt like there were things living in the grass, and they were all laughing, and I felt so much love, and I just instantaneously just felt like I was glowing, and took lots of videos that I'm going to put on my YouTube channel with this month's videos. It was really, really amazing to see that it was just nature spirits. It felt like it was natural. It didn't really feel like it was human-made. And I did consider that it was possible that it was. It felt like it was something living along with us, but it wasn't really extraterrestrial. It felt like it was a belonging, something that was belonging here just as much as we were belonging here. And it was really amazing, actually. This whole time in England, I've been feeling a lot of fairies, like seriously, like fairies and little creatures. And I've never believed in anything like this, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I've never seen anything like it, but there's definitely a parallel consciousness here. And I don't know what this is or how it is, but it does feel to be of the fairyland.
That's interesting, yes. Oh, yeah, I think those are definitely out there. And they like to steal stuff or misplace things.
Yeah, they do.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. I'm aware that we have, personally, I haven't encountered, but we do have beings living in the earth. And potentially this crop circle was connected to more, life exist, like entities that exist inside of the land, I guess, or maybe even on top of the land. Because typically, crop circles are done by other beings, not from this planet. my understanding, what I've known about it. Well, awesome. I think we are slowly getting closer to the end of the show. It was such an amazing show, Polina. Thank you so much. And typically,
thank you.
Yes, typically what we do. Typically, what we do is we give homework for the week coming up to our listeners and ourselves. Do you have anything kind of in mind?
Okay, this is an amazing week. We've just swung into Cancer. We had a new moon on the 24th. It's a really, really nice week to fixate on the positive, and almost to the point where you don't see anything else, like tunnel vision, because what we can connect to in Cancer during this week is coding. We can program home. We could program what home is for us, our domestic life, and also the conditions that we're used to. So, for example, if you are wanting to uplift your cycles and you're thinking you want to grow more in business or you want to grow more in your life, go to great variety concerts, go to greater business meetings, go to bigger houses, go to bigger cathedrals, go somewhere else, where you are no longer associating yourself with the past. For example, if you are somebody who likes to live with others and likes to save money and doesn't really care about, where they sleep or what they do, and they want to grow a big dream, but their environment and the homes and where they're actually housed and what actually is around them, what's on them, the clothes that's on them, everything it feels lacking. But at the same time, they want to create a really, really big, new big scheme. New big adventure for themselves. It won't match because part of you will go, yeah, but I'll still live in a small house. Yeah, but I'll still have uncomfortable clothes, or I still won't have enough money to really survive. But say, for example, for me it's been really different because during this time I'm traveling. It's my 9th house actually is Cancer, so it's really activated. So it's giving me a new opportunity to grow in terms of my travel and understanding, evolving as well, knowing that my home and my new environment, my new scheme of life isn't actually, about having a home and a TV and a couch. It's more about having the everyday things that I see and I evolve through, which is really, really hard to imagine, but really, really large and expanded a lot. But I'm feeling available at the top, where you don't even think it's important to, live in the 5-story house, when you don't even think it's important to fly to the other side of the world. But it feels like all those big gestures during this week, continuing to contribute to your family. In a way where before home was one room with a flatmate, but now for some reason home feels like a castle. And it can be just as long as you are able to dream and outreach yourself here. So if you're thinking about your abundance cycle, to contribute more to the Gemini energy that we've just been through, and Gemini is a money generating energy, it's a lucky energy. Imagine yourself in larger spaces. If you can't be somewhere that's happier, just having a look at magazines, like travel magazines, catalogs, imagining yourself in beautiful gowns, imagining yourself at the table with beautiful people, imagining yourself having your own organic store, anything like that. Will ask you, because we got Jupiter and Libra, that means something is going to be forever, something about this dream that we're going to experience during this time is going to be activated. So a part of it will be forever. There will be something in early July especially that I feel will contribute to the greater blueprint between the 1st and the 5th of July. It's a little bit going ahead. In this window, there's going to be something that's going to be almost like a shadow of your new eternity. There will be a shadow forever. There will be a glimmer, a glimpse of something that will forever stay. And I'm feeling it could be, for example, a new facility where you're working. Maybe it will be a new dream, a new type of literature that you read, but something will be forever. And I feel that something can be bigger and bigger and bigger with every day building up to that period between the 1st and the 5th. So I feel generating the idea that we can have something a lot shinier or a lot more welcoming than before definitely plays along with us during this time, because it's a really lucky time. Yeah. I can go on forever.
Homework.
Sorry. Yeah. So I think big.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes. There's not one or two words. There are many words you'd like to say. I like it. How you explain everything in detail. No, it's beautiful. Fixating on positive is the time right now. On what you want.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Polina. I know we're going to stay in touch together. We are connected on Facebook, and I'm pretty positive we would love to bring you back sometime soon. And we will communicate with you about that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, and just kind of very quickly before we head out, give us your information, your contact information that people can use to contact you for any services that you have.
Okay. I'm on Facebook, so Polina Outkina, POLINA Outkina. On Facebook and on YouTube, and that links to my website, which is I don't remember the exact logistics of the website, but if you just Google Polina Outkina Works, it'll just come up. So you can email me on or you can
we can post
email me. Outkina Polina
we'll
at gmail.com. Outkina. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't like spelling.
Yeah, the same here. We'll post it on our Facebook your page so people can contact you for any services. Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. You gave us so much goodies to work with now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So nice to see you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All right, bye. Have a good one. Enjoy England. All right, so we are the show with Polina Outkina, and just like she said, find her on Facebook, find her on YouTube. Her spelling is her name spells Polina, and last name O-U-T as in Tom, K-I-N as in Nancy, A. Outkina. And wow, okay. So that's the
I know. We have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do. So we received the whole prognosis starting from March 21st, which is the beginning of the astrological year. And Polina gave us the whole year prognosis, including up to 2018, I believe, and kind of like what things are going to be like, how they're going to be shaping up for everyone. And we received personal readings. Wow, excellent. So that being said, Stephanie, I think just to remind everyone, please, it's time to concentrate and fixate on your positive. What do you imagine? What do you envision to have in your life? Spend time being in the positive energy about what you want to manifest. And then I would probably give my contact information since we're almost out of time, Stephanie. Let me give my phone and website. My website is oksanaganchar.com, OXANAGONCHAR.com. You can call me at 571-271-1451. And you can email me at mindbodyandsoul, it's all one word, at oksanaganchar.com. And I am definitely working hard on releasing everything. I will be releasing actually my self-awareness meditation at no cost, probably, I would say, in the next month. And then I'm targeting to release one of my classes, and then I'm also targeting to release 3-level package to everyone as soon as possible. So please stay tuned. Follow me on Facebook as well. And that's it. Stephanie, what do you have to end this show?
Yeah, so my email address is stephanie@edensbalance.com, website www.edensbalance.com, Facebook page is facebook.com/edensbalance, and check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Body and Soul Awareness Radio.
All right. So that was another Sunday afternoon, depending where you are on this planet. Southern California, it is still before 6 p.m., so we're still enjoying sun. If you are on East Coast, you're getting ready to go to bed, but everywhere else on the planet, I do not know. There's so many time zones. So do homework. Please be good to yourself. Enjoy the rest of this day. And we will see you next Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, same place, same time. Stephanie, I will chat with you very, very soon.
Yes. Bye, everyone. Have an awesome week ahead. Love you guys.